Welcome to the semifinals here at the Drug Aware Margaret River Pro. The first semifinal features the defending event champion and current world #1 on top of the Jeep leaderboard, Courtney Conlogue, taking on Rookie of the Year last year, Tatiana Weston-Webb. We sure do, and you see a few minutes already drifting off the clock, and you see them resetting out the back because they did get underway during the break. This was what Tati did.
Yeah, good to get that first wave under your belt. And just that nice clean. You look at the conditions, Joe. The conditions are getting a lot better as the day progresses, and it allows the surfers just to lean into those turns a bit better. Tatiana draws first blood and gets a score on the board. So right behind her, though, Courtney Conlogue, never slow out of the gates here at Margaret River. Always picks the bigger waves, and with that board under her feet, Joe, it's a little longer. It's got that pintail design, so it allows her just to do those big swooping maneuvers. Answers right back.
So we'll see how they separate themselves on the next exchange. Courtney wins the first one, a 7-1-7 out of the gates. And now Tati already needing a score to take the lead back. Tati trying to control that opener, but then Courtney flexes a bit stronger. 7-1-7, 5-5 from Tatiana. Tati needs a 1.68. As we look out the back, we see an opportunity now for Courtney. Conlogue taking off on a wave that's well overhead, drawn off bottom turn, highline wrap. Great start for world #1. Driving through another big frontside hook. Layback jam off the top, maybe one more. Just a little setup turn and she'll get out just in time to avoid the rocks.
Courtney always seems to have those step-ups that are really like, you look at last year's performance from her. She was the only one that was riding a bigger board and she literally dominated. Very similar thing happening again here today. Look at the drawing turns that she's doing off the bottom. You know, there's no two-stage maneuvers here for Courtney. It's just hit that bottom turn straight into that wraparound turn. So it's that seamless transition that most of the girls have been doing in smaller ways, but Courtney's managing to find the ability to do it in the bigger sets that come through. That's going to equate to big points. That's going to be hard to match. If you get a surfer that comes off the bottom and does that two-stage bottom turn, you're going to lose a lot of speed going up into that hook. Courtney just lays that board over on the rail, and that equals big turns, which equals big points.
Well, Courtney Conlogue is sticking to her theme of starting off with scores and just improving on every exchange. A 7-1-7 was her opener. Now an 8.17 on the next decision. Tatiana Weston-Webb now needs a 9.84 to answer back. And let's see if Courtney can just put this thing away in the first few minutes. Impressive control to her heats these days. She doesn't leave the doors open like she used to when she used to have tough losses at the end of big matchups. Rosie, when you watch this now, see Courtney Conlogue, we'll stick with this one with Conlogue trying to better a 7.17. Big bomb drop out the back. Frontside carve off the top. Courtney's out of there. And now the next set looking even bigger out the back. Rosie, how are these conditions right now for these heats?
It is glorious out here. I mean, the wind's supposed to clock even more offshore. We're just going over line and the line up here. I mean, just pretty dreamy for the ladies to have these kinds of conditions and to finish up in an event in these kinds of waves. Really is a lot of water and a lot of wind moving up, so you're gonna want to get that early entry like I mentioned.
Well, Rosie, the big topic is now watching this one. We'll stick with live action. Tatiana Weston-Webb. Big wind up, clean top turn re-entry. Setting up the backhand carve. This is a big comeback wave for last year's Rookie of the Year. Keeps that little flow and that backhand wrap one more time as she's trying to break down a 9.84 that's required to come back against Conlogue.
You know, to win a world title, you've got to learn how to manufacture everything, no matter which way it goes. And tell you what, this young lady is working things out. Courtney Conlogue on an absolute bomb. Look how confident she is off the bottom. And that's the big difference right now with a lot of the other women I've been watching today, apart from Tyler Wright. There's been that 2-3 stage bottom turn. Courtney's just hooking off the bottom, and that's just given her so much drive, so much confidence. 9.27. Look at that turn right there. She leans it right over. You can almost see all three fins out the bottom. And that board just springing into step. I mean, it is looking so good under her feet right now. And she is absolutely on a roll. This is what you got to do. Start peaking around about now. Save a little bit for the final, but Courtney Conlogue 7-1, 8-1, and then a 9.27. Another huge two-wave total. Look how she just leans over on that rail and that board's hooking in. That's what you want out here at Margaret River. You don't want to have to nurse that board off the bottom. You don't want to have to second guess whether it's going to handle it. Courtney Conlogue has absolutely picked it perfect and is looking deadly out there right now, Joe.
So in tune with the rhythm of the ocean here at the main break, and it seems like every venue on tour, she's worked out her mistakes, and it's a brand new Courtney Conlogue in 2016, a 9.27. Remember, she started in the 7 range, then to the 8s, now to the 9s. And she was on this board, and she said, you know what, this is a board I had from a couple of years ago at Bell's, and I was like, how did you keep this thing clean? She's like, well, this is the only place I ride it. It was a special board she saves for certain venues. As we watch Tatiana Weston-Webb stretching out the bottom turns, going soft off the top, but she'll hang in there. Now a better section, and she'll get out of there quickly since she didn't have the big first turn. With the 9.27, she's realized she's got a big combo to break down. Tati already with a great start is world number 4 in this matchup. And now she'll be giving it her all to come back. Conlogue's just been in rhythm as she is setting up another big section. She'll just highline it. That way it breathes, goes soft, she kicks out. Conlogue will now prepare for the winner of the next heat. Will it be Carissa Moore for a repeat final from last season? Or will it be Tyler Wright, a rematch for Courtney from their first final battle at the start of the season on the Gold Coast of Australia? As we check out the numbers, yellow jersey looking solid on the shoulders of Courtney Conlogue as world number 1 takes out Tatiana Weston-Webb with a big 9.27.